we
Yeah.
just love watching the success and the
Yeah.
leadership and the motivation you offer to people. So you should be so proud of that. You really
Absolutely.
Yeah.
should.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
I
love
am.
that you have an emphasis to serve. A quote that I love is, if serving is beneath you, then leadership is above you. It's
Yes.
beyond you. And it's like, so many people want to rise up and be leaders, and they're like, how do I lead the way? How do I lead the way? But you can't actually know what the people need. You can't actually know how to help them if you're not willing to go low and really serve and sacrifice and connect, and be willing to be vulnerable with your story. 'Cause that's
Mhm.
why people resonate with people like you, because you've been through it. And again, so many people feel like I've been through it all. Like, you don't understand. It might be easy for you, but you don't know what I've been through. And it's like, no, that's
Yeah.
how my ministry was founded. Is I'm a divorced single mom, and the Lord really led me with Ephesians 3:20, that he's going to do exceedingly and abundantly more than you can ask, think, or imagine. And so it's going to be beyond your plan, because your plan is going to be so much smaller than the Lord's. But you have to be willing to take, one step at a time, because if you had known that this was your calling, then you would have been like, Lord, like, I must be out of line somewhere. Like, I'm lost because you said I was going to do this. But he meets you there, and you walk by faith even when it's hard. And that's why when the abundance comes, you're able to stay faithful and stay humble. And again, I just want to thank you for being vulnerable and for leading in that way, because we need more leaders like that.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think that the one thing prior to Christian that really shaped me, because I was divorced as well too. Before me and my wife, I was divorced as well. And you ladies are cool, so I'm going to share this with you.
Yay!
And when I was 21, I got married. And it was probably the darkest time of my life, when it was supposed to be the lightest time of my life.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And my ex-wife and I, we had a child. 2 years into the marriage, things were just like not what I envisioned to be. Before the wedding, my mother stopped me at the end of the driveway, and she said, you don't have to do this, right? And at 21 years old, you're like, nah, Mom, I'm good. I'm gonna do this. I got it. I got it. I'm a grown man. I'm 21. I know everything.
Oh, yeah, right.
Sure.
You guys
The
know this,
mamas
right?
always know, though.
Yeah.
Mamas always know.
And at that point, I didn't understand it, but there were so many people that were telling me no. But I felt at the time that I could save her. I know that I know that she's a great person. You guys don't know her like I do, right?
Sure.
Everybody's had that. Things. I know things that you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
So 2 years into the relationship, she comes to me with this phone bill. And some phone bills, some things you just never forget. And I remember the phone bill was over $700. Ridiculous. Mind you, this is not the type of plans that we have today. This is when T-Mobile was just getting started, Sprint, all those. Matter of fact, I had the Nextel, like, remember the walkies?
Yes.
Yes,
Like, I do.
I had that.
Yeah.
And
that's too funny.
yeah, so I guess I'm showing my age a little bit here, but
that's okay.
but so we had that. So anyway, long story short, I ended up looking at the phone bill, and something was just off to me. And there were 2 numbers on the phone bill. I'm like, whose number is this? And she made up some ridiculous lie that it was someone else's number, that T-Mobile must have gave them a line or something like that. But I knew it was another guy. I just knew.
Yeah.
And I couldn't prove it though. But one day she had left that phone, and I had put her on my plan. We canceled that line. I put her on my phone line, but she had left her other phone for weeks. She was taking both phones with her for whatever reason. I'm like, why do you need both phones? So one day she leaves it in the bathroom, and I have our daughter, and I looked in the phone. I just had that intuition to just look in the phone, and I'm not a phone look througher or whatever that's called. I'm not the person that snoops around, but something was just saying, look in the phone. I look in the phone, and I see text messages from guys, pictures of guys, like all these different things that was going on that are, not really
inappropriate.
Inappropriate for the show. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And I look over at my daughter, and immediately I got a paternity test. because I had to know.
Mhm.
I had to know because people were saying it for years, but I just had to know for myself. So
Sure.
in the middle of teaching dance class, maybe about 4 weeks after this has happened, my dad calls me up. He says the results came in. I said, go ahead and open it. And then he read the results to me, and it stated that the child that we had been raising for 2.5 years wasn't biologically mine.
Oh,
I had chills.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me
So
too.
I was, at that moment, I stopped work. I couldn't even, my boss, she understood. She just let me go. And I'm 95 miles away from my house. So there was no way that I can actually drive home with that mindset. So
Sure.
I just went to like a coffee shop and just sat there for hours. And at that point, I was angry at God. Ever been angry at God? Like, anybody ever, if you guys are listening to this, I know that there are some people, we're going to keep it real. I know there are some people out there that have been upset at God, but really you should be more so looking at yourself and the decisions that you made, because it wasn't like he didn't put people in place to block you from moving forward. And oftentimes what happens is we get so upset at God, we get so mad that we are not taking accountability for our actions and what we did. I was the one that said yes. I was the one that slept with her. I was the one that moved in with her. It was my doing, not his. But he did try to block me from, moving forward. You guys got to understand that before blaming someone else, I need you to look in the mirror and look at yourself, because every person has what I like to call some form of, you're able to lead from within.
Sure.
Right. And you being able to lead from within can stop you from a lot of things that you don't want to do. Don't move on feelings, move on the facts. Right. And the fact is that I shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. It ended, of course, the way that it did. And you know what? I take so many different lessons from that. That, I know what type of father that I wanted to be. I know what type of husband I wanted to be. And I got the opportunity to do it again, but this time do it right. And now I met my wife Josie and my 4 beautiful children. And he didn't just, not just, exceedingly and abundantly, getting 4 kids, right? And a wife that is 100 times better than what I had before. So throughout this whole time, I just kept pushing on faith and pushing on faith and pushing on faith. And through every obstacle, through every piece of adversity, I said, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I believe that God is going to use me and exemplify, through me, that if I could do it through him, I could do it through anybody else. And all the things that we've been through, all the things that we've been going through from, the time that our house was up for sale, up for sale and losing 65% of our income. I now own this home right now. And now we're back to where we were at prior to Christian going into cancer. And and our son is cancer free. Not only that, let me tell you guys this.
Praise
Christian
God.
beat cancer in half the time.